Okay, so welcome everyone. My name is Nakai Lewis, founder and president at American Dreamers. You guys should be the dreamers, or some are visiting, right? We may have some guests. Welcome everyone, right? I'm super excited for everything that's going to be going down tonight. We're going to be actually speaking about mortgage protection, which is a super huge topic. And it's also something that I feel like everybody should know about, right? When it comes to that, right? So we're gonna hop into that in one moment. My goal again here with American Dreamers is for us to not only connect, collaborate, but at the same time, I want us all to learn from each other when it comes to everything dealing with financial literacy, financial empowerment, right? And of course, just being able to be better when it comes to your finances, right? That's what we're all here for. I know there are a lot of clubs, right, for different things, right? You got chambers, different things like that. But the goal here with American Dreamers Club is we're about our finances, right? So we're about our legacy. We want to make sure that whether you have children, your family members, anything like that, you are learning about your legacy, you're protecting your legacy, and then you're learning the different steps of what you need to do. So as becoming a member, that's the benefits you get. So we're super excited for you guys to join in with us on this live call today. So today we're talking about the great topic, mortgage protection. Put in the chat for anybody if you know what mortgage protection is. Have you heard about mortgage protection, right? If you have or you have not. Some people think, well, a couple things about it, and we're going to discuss exactly what it is and what it means for you. And no, we're not really talking about when it comes to only on the actual lender side, right? Because a lot of times I know we have a couple realtors in the room, and we deal a lot with different real estate firms. Mortgage protection on the financial club side is going to be something super important that you want to add to your portfolio, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about mortgage protection. What are the benefits? How can this help you? Because at the end of the day, whether you have a home, some of you are like, I don't even have a home yet, but you may know someone who have a home. Your parents may have a home, right? Your grandparents may have homes, right? So there's different aspects of this, whether you're going to become a buyer in the future, whether you are a buyer now, or you may know some buyers. My goal here at American Dreamers is just making sure that everyone has all the information when it comes to learning about different types of ways that you could protect yourself, right? So let me start deep in. Give a second. All right. So one thing about mortgage protection, right, is that people don't realize, I tell people all the time, is that your home is the biggest single investment, right, that you're going to make in your lifetime, right? But the reality of home ownership is that paying the mortgage can really strain the family budget, right? Especially if you have a lot of bills, you have children, different things like that, or it's just you. Mostly you need two incomes, of course, to afford a monthly house payment. But let's say if you or your spouse, does pass away, your family could potentially lose the house that you've actually, that's your home, that's where you are. And the loss of that income also can cause financial stress, right? Which can make, if you have a $2,000 mortgage, $3,000 mortgage, $1,800 mortgage, it can be really, really stressful for individuals who are literally on the brink of whether a financial collapse or you have a tragedy happen. We'll talk a little bit about those things. So it can cause a lot of what I've seen in the past is a lot of the financial stress and grief, right? So for us, we want to make sure when it comes to American Dreamers and the mortgage protection is that you have a peace of mind and knowing that in the event of something happening, that your family does not lose your home, you don't lose your home, right? So what does that look like for you guys? So there's a couple considerations of questions that you'd want to consider for yourself, right? Most people, and these are just questions to just think about, right? Most families are forced to leave their home. These are the reasons why, right? So when you see foreclosures and those kinds of things, is because A, there was economic hardship, either caused by death, disability, or a critical illness, usually, right? It's usually either the family either have one of those, usually, or if it's a financial hardship, but it's usually caused by one of the things. Maybe you can't work, maybe someone passed away, right? So if you pass away tomorrow, or you know someone who has a home did pass away, do they have enough money to pay off the mortgage, right? If you were able to, you know, work for an extended amount of time, would you be able to pay that mortgage each month, right? And what if you were diagnosed with something like either a cancer, stroke, or heart attack or injury preventing you from working? Could you pay off that mortgage, right? These are some questions I want you to keep on the back of your mind, right? So there's a couple benefits, of course, to mortgage protection, which is, you know, when you have it in place, right, you can literally use the proceeds to relocate, right, to a different home. Okay. You can also pay off your existing mortgage, right? You can also, it's also portable. So what does that mean, Nakai? So basically, if you sell your home, you buy another home, you refinance that home, and let's say you just want to just pay it off or whatever, something occurs, you have that benefit, right? And it also benefits for the length of the mortgage. So if you have a 20-year term, a 30-year term, getting a mortgage protection you know, type of policy will be able to help you with that, right? And another benefit is that the insured persons. So, for example, let's say if you have someone that is not on the deed, you're on the deed, but someone else's that you care about, whether it doesn't have to be a spouse, maybe you know you want to leave it for your mom or for your children or someone else, they can benefit from that and say, hey, in a case of emergency, you have this extra layer of protection just to make sure that you can be able to access your mortgage protection, right? So just think about that. Also, when it comes to your insured, when it comes to your insured persons, right? Let's say if you ever have disability on the disability side, right? If you get disabled, there's options that you can add as a benefit to the mortgage protection. So if you get disabled, you can actually get income that's going to help you during that time. Because imagine, let's just paint this scenario, right? Something happens, you can't work, you slip, you fall, anything happens, right? You can't go to work. Who's going to pay the mortgage? Are you going to be now like on the risk of losing your home? What do you have in place to make sure that that doesn't happen? A lot of people just buy homes and they don't even have this extra benefit, right? That protects them in case of those kinds of things. So you want to keep those in mind, right? So when it comes to critical illness for your mortgage protection plans, right? Again, it can help prevent your family from losing the possibility of losing in place anything, right? So you don't want to, you know, when it comes to your car payments don't do this, right? Your car payments do not allow you to be able to be protected in case you can't pay your car payment. If you got sick, you can't pay your car payment, they don't care, right? They're coming to collect that car. Am I right? And the same thing goes for the mortgage. If you can't pay your mortgage payment, your lender is coming to collect that home, period. Right? And he has his own policy to protect him in case of that. So just keep that in mind, right? So we want to make sure when it comes to, you know, individuals, what they're doing when it comes to their mortgages, that you know all the aspects of saving and keeping your home. The goal is that if the public is educated when it comes to your financial picture, you'll have an access to being able not to lose your home. You know, in case of something happens to you, critical illnesses, a chronic illness, you get dementia tomorrow, you have something backed up, right? So this is really one of the major causes. And a great another benefit about mortgage protection is the money back option, right? Some of you guys may or may not know about the money back option, but what does that mean exactly? So you literally can receive the full refund on all premiums paid. Imagine for all the car insurance we paid, right? Think about that in our lifetime, right? You had your car for so many years, right? Could you possibly receive all your full refunds of all the premiums paid? Literally for the next 20, 30 years, for, you know, 5 years, 6 years, right? That can be an amazing product, right? But we don't have that. It doesn't exist. But this exists, right? Where you pay into this product and it will allow you to receive all the refund and all the premiums paid if you choose and you don't tap into it. Just saying, just saying. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind. All right. So it's our live demo time. Hold on one second. Let me just share that. And thank you for those who are joining us. One moment here. I'm going to, I have just some sample just to show you exactly kind of like what it looks like, because I always make sure that people know, okay, well, what does that really look like? Okay, 1 second. And sharing. All right, so you should see my screen. Perfect. All right, so we're just going to blank that out a little bit. All right, so for example, if a client, let's say a male who's 33, he has a $400,000 house, right? Basically, he has a benefit for this for $1,800, right? So $1,800 is basically going to protect the home, okay? And all he's going to pay about is, of course, if he's standard, he's not a smoker, on average, he'll probably pay about $100, right? So again, everything's subject to applications. These are not the guaranteed fees. Okay, disclaimer. So based on that, right? So think about that. So let me break that down for you here, what that looks like. So that's a payment protector. So the client bought a house, 400,000, right? So year one, something happens to him all the way down to year 25. Like, so every year it's pretty much decreasing. So as he's paying off the house, literally, he's getting access to making sure that it's protected. And at the end of everything that he's paid, after he's paid all that, not only is it protected, but at the same time, he has access to the money back option. So if he never touches anything, let's say in year 25, right? If you have a certain amount of money that you already placed in there, right? You'll be able to access, there's different ones. There's protectors, and there's ones like you can get the cashback option. This one in particular that I'm showing you is pretty much just the just the protector option. So that means every month something happened to this person, their designated person is going to get $1,800 every month to keep the mortgage, make sure the kids are okay, so they don't have that stress. So think about that, right? I'm going to show you the other one. We're going to do another sample. So let's say a female, right, age 45, for example, also bought a $400,000 house at 1,800, right? She's going to pay a little bit more. So she's going to pay anywhere from $200 perhaps a month. But for $200, I also put on there the disability income. So she needed to get disability income, something happened, she falls off a ladder, something, whatever occurs, you can't work, you got disability income coming to you. And this is outside of your job. So even if you don't work, you work for yourself, you're real estate, you're an investor, you want to have these extra things to be able to tap in. So these are the kind of things that are available. Secondly, the waiver of premium. Now imagine this happens to you, you can't pay your mortgage, you're disabled, we're just giving the hypotheticals. Things happen. You got in a car accident, whatever. You can't pay your premium. There's also a waiver of premium that's also tied into that. That's backing you up in case of that, right? We all know that things happen in life, and we want to make sure that you are protected. Okay, let's look at what those little other numbers look like again. So, yep. So that's anywhere on the payment protector side from year 1 to year 30, right? That's all the way from 46 to 75. She is covered in the death of her emergency, right? So this is literally, hey, I'm protecting my mortgage. I'm making sure that if anything happens to me, you guys are able to be okay. This is different from your life insurance, regular thing. This is literally the benefit that's for that, right? Because sometimes people they get money and they don't know what to do with it, and maybe you have family and you're like, you know what? No, I want to make sure this house stays in the legacy, right? I want to make sure these are my wishes. I want you to pay off the house. I'm making sure I'm putting something aside that's going to help you to do this. And again, every age is different. If you're younger, of course, it's cheaper. And, if you're older, it's a little bit more, but there's still some affordable things depending on what you add to it. Okay. Let me also show you 1 second. All right. So we have here, so that's all my demo. And so I'm hoping you guys are really getting a great benefit from this. I really talk about this a lot all the time, and I just want to make sure based on that you really, take into consideration for anyone that right? You want to make sure that, hey, I have, a house, I'm planning to buy a house, my parents have a house, whatever the case may be. So Q&A time. Does anyone have a question? You can unmute yourself and you can ask your question or comment. Or you can raise your hand, whichever. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. No questions? No comments yet? Okay, let me look in the chat. All right. Excellent info. Appreciate the knowledge. Perfect. Perfect. Excellent info. Great. Great. Amazing. All right. Just taking it all in right now. Yes, I know it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. So, you know, like I said, when it comes to the mortgage protection side, this is just something in addition to your final expense, in addition to life insurance you may have at your job, in addition to whatever benefits that you have, right? If you can afford an extra 100, 200, whatever it is, at least something that's going to help you in the mortgage. We can cover up to 450,000 on the mortgage, making sure that you have that amount, right? So that in event of something, you can either A, get the cash back option, that's a different plan, right? Or B, you can get the payment monthly benefit every month because you're like, you know what, my husband's gonna spend that money. So guess what? I'm gonna make sure, or my loved ones, whoever, that they're gonna get that lump sum every month and then they just pay it off. So that's an excellent thing, right? As you very well know, as part of the American Dreamers, we are gearing up for the 100 Club, right? And the 100 Club is the Family Trust 2024 campaign, right? So if you're not a member, I want to make sure that you do visit, www.americandreamers.club. And I'm going to put that in the chat for you, right? And create a free account, right? We want you to create at least a free account and then schedule a time with me so that we can go over what your plans are, what you're trying to do. Did you want to have a trust? Do you have a trust? Do you have a living will? Do you have any of these things, right? This is the time to be thinking about it. And of course, everyone here that's on this call is that either they want to learn about it, they want to make sure they have access to it, or you want to be knowledgeable about it. One thing that I learned about being in this industry is that as a agent, I didn't know any of this stuff. And I'm sure that you're like, look, I've never heard of some of this stuff ever, right? I know about what the lender gets, but I didn't know I'm supposed to get something else, right? Two different type of policies for your house. So we want to make sure, especially when it comes to your trust, and all of that, we also have more material on this on our YouTube channel, which is at American Dreamers Club. So don't forget to follow us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram at American Dreamers Club, right? That's our goal. The financial club is now open. So if you're not a member, if you're like, hey, I want to become a member, I don't have enough money, or whatever the case, don't let any of this stuff stop you, because as you can see, I schedule different financial webinars like this to educate and bring different concepts that you normally don't get to learn anywhere else, right? So the more educated we all are as a people and as a collective, it really helps us to become better when it comes to our finances, taking everything into consideration, right? And then just evaluating where you're at, right? Even if you haven't quite made that move yet, you're trying to make that move. I always tell people, look, tomorrow's not promised, right? If you have kids, make sure you have your paperwork straight. Make sure you have your guardianship paperwork straight. You don't want them to become, a case where they're fighting over custody and they're in court and, probates and all of this stuff, right? Get on it. We are all individuals that are, making a change, and we're making this as part of what we want to do as a collective. So I'm super excited about everything when it comes to the American Dreamers Club, what we are going to be doing. Don't forget, we have our event coming up March 25th. So don't forget to tune in. And of course, you can visit AmericanDreamers.club to get those tickets. Okay. Any other questions so far? And again, if you are tuning into the replay of this, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube.